Well, hello, internet peoples. How are you on this fine, incredible day? Well, people, I have to touch base on some of the issues of today's world because I haven't done a philosophy video in a bit. And I wanted to touch on, the Middle East and World War and just the things that are cropping up in our society. And I suppose what I'm seeing is some extremely fucked videos. We've all scoured online and come across news articles of shit that happens in the Middle East. And like fucking Gaza, I mean, you just see like piles of bodies being put into a fucking car and you're just like, what the fuck, you know? What the fuck is up with the world, you know? Why do people hate so much? Why do people choose violence? And it's this endless cycle of revenge. We as humans are deeply passionate about our beliefs, so much so that, some people are willing to die for them. And, they see these things and they have these life experiences and they just go fucking crazy. I mean, you can't stop that. You can't tell someone who's lost their fucking son or daughter in an airstrike to not rebel. I mean, you just can't. So like what? The endless cycle of violence just keeps and continues? He good. Beardies. I wish animals are not any better. Pretty vicious in the animal kingdom is, and it leads you to believe, was our world always meant to be violent in this way? Was society formed humans, in a way that violence is unavoidable? Is there a possibility of a world where violence doesn't even exist? Obviously with the way the world is structured, that's just never going to be because, there's criminals and crimes and things that people have to, just, they know it's going to happen. But, it really makes you wonder with Iran and shit, like, there's no fucking end here. What, everybody's just going to pack it up, go home, and it's over? Like, it doesn't happen. Nobody's gonna give up in this fight for world domination, I think, personally. US, China, Russia, blah, 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 all these powers, it's just fight for dominance. And it's the same thing that companies do. Because competition, it's stamping out the weak, it's just part of our species, We compete, who gets the best girl, who gets the most money, who gets the nicest house. It's just our nature to take and control things that we think we deserve more. And there's this place in our consciousness for revenge. We're trying to take something that we feel is indebted to us. Is it the right thing? Probably not. But how can we as a species defeat this inner urge to conquer, control others and things? I mean, that's probably one of the most crazy questions of all of the world. You have a bearded dragon lizard going crazy behind you trying to solve the world's fucking problems. It's not gonna fucking work. I can't solve the world's problems, but what I can do is provide my insightful knowledge on the universe and things that are the way they are. And I think that the only way we're going to get through the problems we're facing in the world is just to change completely, to have a full change of our consciousness, and the only thing that can do that is to tear it all down, and the world fucking goes to hell, anarchy, and it just implodes within the masses of its own power. You know, the great human civilization of today was built on the practice that we all get along. And if you looked in our day-to-day lives and our day-to-day society, nobody gets along. People don't get along. They stay in their little sheltered world, and they only do things to get ahead. You know, they're not gonna. There are good people in this world for sure, but I strongly believe there's way more bad people in this world. There's so many bad people in this world. How do you stop that? How do you stop that? How do you find out who is bad and who is good? When the lines like the Israel-Hamas war start getting divided like this, you start to realize that who is really the good guys and who are the bad guys. Who just follows orders and who is truly, you know, independent and free. And you really gotta wonder, when the lines between good and bad get drawn so much in the world, who are people really gonna fight for? Because the thing is this. I know that a lot of Western men, a lot of Western men, would not fucking die for capitalism. I wouldn't. I'm not gonna fight for this shit. I've got to go out and fucking beg for a fucking goddamn job or for money to survive so I can feed myself and house myself. I'm not gonna go fucking die in your goddamn wars. Are you fucking kidding me? Not a fucking hope in hell. You throw me in fucking Guantanamo Bay. I'm not gonna fucking go and die for your policies. I predict and I want a free world free of currency and money. It's possible, but people are not willing to give up their riches. That's been the problem with our species since the start. Why should I give up what I have? Or why should someone else have more than me? But that's the way out. No money. Everyone lives free. Everyone shares. That'll never fucking happen. Ever. It can't happen. Why would it ever happen? Fucking Kardashians aren't gonna give up their fucking mansion for anything. Pay some stupid idiots to come protect it for them. It's the sickness of capitalism that's spread all over the world. But, I mean, really, is anything gonna change? I don't think it can, and I don't think it will. I think that we, as a species, should come together, but we won't. And you know, we might be at the start of the Third World War. I'm not gonna fucking fight for these assholes who made me struggle and work so hard my entire fucking life for nothing. And this is the real thing, is that there seems to be no possible way to avoid World War III. It's just like two immovable objects smashing into each other. Progress and change comes crashing into each other and unleash a hellstorm onto the earth. Yeah, the one and only nuclear weapons. And here is another thing too, is that Westerners get scared because things are so good for them. We only have to worry about our day-to-day lives. We don't give a shit about what happens in other parts of the world. But when you see videos of fucking children crying and bloodied in hospitals, what the fuck are you supposed to do? Really? Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? They tell the US, don't back Israel because they're doing this. Like, they're not gonna fucking care what an average person has to think. And then at the same time, like, the people in Israel aren't going to give a shit because they're the ones trying to get revenge for the fucking Hamas. So it just goes around in an endless circle when everybody really should just stop and help each other. Like, you can't do that. There's just no way. There's no way, because we as humans have this just burning desire to change the world. When the reality is, I don't think the world can change. I don't think we can fix these problems. I think that unless there's some miracle where people all fall under one command, so to speak, there's just going to be constant wars, fighting, and death in our world. It's just going to go on forever until it either A, gets so bad that people stop and collect themselves, or B, it just all fucking goes away and we start from scratch. We start over. That's literally like the only way. So it all just collapses and falls down. We go back fucking 100 years in technology and we start over again. And this time we hopefully learn our lesson. But let me know your thoughts, because world's getting pretty fucked, and it's hard not to want to do something. But like, as a regular Joe, what the fuck can you do? Nothing. You can't really do anything. It's quite the situation. But you know what? My heart really does go out to the people who suffer in poorer countries, because I know how fortunate I am as a Westerner. And these people have fucking nothing. They have fucking nothing. They have nothing. They have no futures. All they have is hate and anger for the way things are. And they're just going to fight it. And that happens all over the world. It's injustices. People fight against injustices. And, unless we have real philosophers who try and figure out how to stop this evil that is percolating in the world. It's gonna be fucking it's all gonna go to chaos, and it'll be an entertaining thing to see it go down, because like, worldwide monetary systems just collapse, massive wars, all kinds of political instability, economic instability. We've only scratched the surface of what's possible, and in potential, maybe, just maybe, technology will save us. AI. You're fucking asking a computer how to fix this. Maybe no human on Earth will have the answer, but maybe computers will be able to figure it out. Peace.